parliamentary will get grants.
Hey!
Good to see you. Laila, good to see you.
Good to see you. How you been?
I've been really busy and good now. I'm doing pretty good. I finally got a new ride. So
Oh,
I'm
yay!
about that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Back to my spot.
Okay. Sorry to piece you out with the live.
Oh, no.
People like it. People appreciate it.
I'll take the vice chair.
Do it. Leave the head.
I don't recall your name.
Julia.
Julia Austin. How's it going?
Nice to meet you too.
We've probably met before, though. I don't know if I remember.
Yeah, Julia was interested in acting as secretary, second secretary. Yeah, still.
Yeah,
Sweet.
I don't know see you whatever's needed.
Thank you.
Showing up and making the fight the good fight. Or, not fighting, but showing up and hopefully making more progress. That's the goal.
Gaining understanding.
There you go.
Are you streaming already?
I am.
Or you
I did it.
just do it?
I did it.
You guys
We are live streaming.
Did you
You're
do
doing really well.
No, I went up. I wanted to start at 7. We're starting at 7. So I guess it's 7:02 now. So thank you guys for everybody for showing up. And thanks for being here.
Thank you.
Yeah. I have a little bit of an agenda. I don't know if you want to just go start from the top and work our way through. We obviously had a very lively last board meeting in November, which a lot of people showed up thanks to some of our efforts about the raising of the road fees, and they were going to raise it $20, and now it's going to be raised $5, and they can raise it, I think, up to max of $15, but there's a lot of back and forth. Ultimately, we shouldn't be raising the road fees unless there's a financial reason to do that, so it was great that the board heard from us. It was unfortunate there was some not so nice words said, but I think ultimately it was a very productive meeting, and a lot of people are, again, wanting more transparency and knowing what's going on in the board. So I've had multiple people thank us for live streaming the meetings. The board has approved us to buy a camera and set up a system to hopefully encourage other people on the board to live stream, not just one of us from our crew. But I will definitely keep showing up to as many meetings as I can with my time.
I might have a volunteer that I can bring in on that exact thing.
Anyone who is a resident is welcome to volunteer.
Excellent.
Yes.
Well, and I would like to say that almost every resident that I speak to and I bring up that are online and actually attend and are kind of present here, all of them are 100% into the streaming and the transparency that's going to go there. So kudos. I think it's a great step, and sounds like that we are coordinating some more permanent stuff with YouTube, and so I think it's a great move forward.
Great. Yes, that was kind of the first topic I wanted to make sure we had. Talk about just how we're operating the meetings, and how we want to run Facebook, and make sure that the Facebook page is ideally for residents. We still do not have approval or the green light from the board to verify the people that are on our Facebook group that they are residents. So right now, as we know, the only verification that people are residents on the Facebook group is them answering the questions. So
Word of mouth and social accountability, which I think are very powerful. But
yeah.
Now, didn't you say that we could verify with the name and email?
Yeah, okay.
So I mean,
I've
not
sent
happening yet, but the topic is something that I would ultimately like to address when I'm kind of able to address the social media issues, but I don't want to grab the floor.
Well, that's a big step because I actually did did get a list of people that are on the Facebook group and people who have signed up via Google form, and I did send that to the office and ask for verification. And so that is something we need to make sure happens.
Yes, and it's absolutely something that I want to talk about too.
Okay, well that's the current topic on the floor.
Is that?
Well, yeah. So that's great. I know Roy said that before, and the board has said the reason that they haven't been able to verify is because of privacy. But we have people that are publicly on the page or who have signed up willingly on a form to say we're a resident, and the only people that can actually verify that, for sure is the board or Roy, whoever is looking at the list of
So
residents.
he would be the active one verifying.
Yes, please, Austin.
I would suggest that we amend the entry requirement so that when somebody verifies that they are part of the community, that they give us written permission to ask the board and that the board will respond. So that way it's baked into the thing. So, and we can get with the language on that, on how to put it on there. So that when they sign up for like the group rules that you agree to, right, and it would be a sentence that says we authorize the resident contact committee to verify our information with Fern Acres Community Association and give the association permission to verify the members.
Well,
That would be just one thing that would immediately help. That way there is absolutely no excuse. They can't say that's a violation of privacy if we have permission that's written.
Not sure if that's an option, but we'll definitely look into that.
I know we can. I know we can definitely put it on there. It's definitely within our power. And then the second thing that we can do to solve the verification problem is we can do our own internal verification. Anyone who participates in this group or is recognized in this group as living in this neighborhood is more than qualified to be able to determine whether or not someone is or isn't. So while I can start off on the honor system, we go through a verification period. And then the members that get verified by one of us, right, or by the association, can then earn verified status.
Okay.
That's another thing that we can do. So we can do both of those things through the group, and we can do it where we have two verification methods, so that even if the board doesn't want to work with us, we still get to do what we want to do. And if they do work with us, we have written permission, so they have CYA, so they're not doing anything that is questionable with data, because that is a concern.
Mm-hmm.
So that would be my suggestion on how to deal with that. If I may, on the broader topic of the agenda, I think we're talking about is meeting rules and decorum.
Mm-hmm.
Have any of you had a chance to familiarize yourself with Robert's Rules of Order?
Yes.
So this is the very, very important and sometimes seemingly complex set of rules that most organizations use for board meetings. And it's basically a set of rules that really matter when you're disagreeing. When we're in agreement and everything's cool, we want to not use the rules because they're really for disagreements, right? So a good chair will relax the rules and let good discussions happen. But when arguments or contention or controversy or member rights are at stake, those rules have to absolutely come into play. And they also help to organize the meeting helpfully. So when I run meetings, normally what I do is I call the meeting to order, and that's the first thing. And the agenda, I usually send it out in advance so that everybody has a copy. First thing is we call to order and we do roll call. Who's present, right? Members. Sound off your names who are present and voting as voting members, right? And then after that, we move on to the approval of the minutes from the prior meeting. Once that's all done, then we look at the agenda and we say, does anybody want to add any amendments to the agenda? We can approve it or we can not approve it, and we vote on that, right? So at that point, you have an option to bring things up as members that are qualified to vote, right? So we order things out that way. It seems like maybe a little bit of extra formality, but the nice thing is that it gives your meetings a lot more weight. It's also the rules that Fern Acres Community Association has to operate by, right? So when you see them making motions and when you see them making decisions, The rules for those decisions are partly in the bylaws, but anywhere the bylaws are silent, which is 99% of things, those default to Robert's rules, which is, again, like a kind of controlled mob rule. So majority ultimately takes the floor and rules, right? But the chair maintains order and helps to keep everyone on topic. And anyway, I hope this is making sense. What I would suggest is that if it's needed, make sure that there's a clear structure of authority. So with social media, I would impanel either a single person or a committee. Make the committee small if you do it, maybe 3 people that are the social media committee, and they have a chair. Or you appoint a single person, and that's what we have now. And that single person that's responsible for that basically answers to the board and carries out the board's will. He's a manager for the board, right? And that is where, like, when it comes to issues or whatever, that would come down to settling it at the board, and then the rules protect and make sure that everyone gets heard. And
That's actually in some of the rules that I'm going to propose today.
awesome. I have a feeling we've talked about what you want to do, and I'd love to see what you got.
Well, I amended it a little bit, but yeah, we'll get there.
Sure.
I've got copies for everybody.
Sure. I'm not assuming that I'm the chair here,
Well, we had.
because I haven't been here to run stuff. So
Yeah,
I don't want
and
to take over.
I'm not the chair either. So I mean, when we originally started, you were the chair, and then we voted Benjamin to be the vice chair. I've been the secretary for a while.
I can take that back up, but I also realize that you guys have been running things very well for a while, and so if you want to hold on to the gavel, you can.
I think it's really fair to share the position, and I really want to include everybody and encourage everybody. I think it's nice if you're here, your position's held. If you're not, it's me or then Laila, and then whoever else feels like they want to run the meeting and have practice running a meeting. I mean,
Cool.
there's more than one benefit to being in this group is to learn how to work in a group.
Now, I have been gone for several meetings.
I will say one thing. And this might drive some people crazy, but I think it's really important people know where the buck stops.
Yep.
Right? So in order to stay on topic, that means the chair has to try to stay neutral. My job is not to dominate conversation or tell you guys how to vote or bring up my own issues. My job is to facilitate you guys having a healthy and good conversation by simply enforcing these rules. So when there's disagreement or contentious business, always address all your comments to the chair. And don't be offended if the chair reminds you to address your comments to the chair. Right? Don't crosstalk whenever, especially when there's issues, right, where there's disagreements. And then we'll walk through the procedure. No big deal. This will be fun, and we'll get things done. We'll all learn something. We're all students, and he's right. Everybody needs a chance to learn to do the different parts of leadership, and there are different parts. One sucky thing about the chair is this is really the most. I've already expressed my opinion more than I should, but since it's about the rules, it's kind of okay. Right? But like, as the chair, you want to try, like, the secretary will call the votes. She calls the chair last. And the chair only really votes if there's a tie, if he's really good. Some chairs do not have to be unbiased like that. I don't have to. I can be partisan and vote and do all those things. But this is like an example of how it should go. I'm sorry, I forgot you had your hand up, Misty.
Misty. I just keep talking because we got off topic. I feel like we got off topic.
I'll bring us back around. We'll consider this called to order, and we will, if we want, if someone wants to call for the roll call, we can do
I
that.
had a question real quick. I know that I've missed some meetings. When were you voted as president?
It was 2024, pretty much October.
I think it was like the first meeting as vice president.
He's vice chair on October 4th, 2024.
So that was in the minutes that were posted. But yeah, you were pretty adamant to figure out what I was voted for, and I really am not.
No, I was just going off my memory.
Yeah, I really don't think positions are that awesome. I'm just really trying to build transparency, but positions do help us have an organized meeting, and I guess it works. Robert's Rules of Order, I guess, works.
It's
Since-
used by a lot.
Since there's no bylaw requirement saying that we vote on our chair every so many, years or months or whatever, at any point, if the group becomes dissatisfied with its leadership, they can institute a vote of no confidence. So if I'm not doing a good job facilitating a good meeting for you guys, you can absolutely remove me. You would need the proper amount of votes and seconds to do so, right? In an organization where the bylaws establish leadership, it's much more difficult to remove a regular presiding officer. You have to actually have an investigation and all this other stuff. These are pretty firm rules, and if we don't follow them in theory and we do things of consequence, could theoretically get us sued, right? So that's an interesting thing just for everybody to know. It's not likely. We're not doing anything that would be likely to get us sued, but just hypothetically. Anyway, shall we do a roll call?
Yes.
All right, Austin Martin, Chairman.
Laila Moisalar, Secretary.
President?
George, Communication Liaison.
Misty Woman, I'm just a volunteer.
You should vote Julie in, but she can brag about your work so far.
I was gonna say Julia, I'm tour resident.
Great.
Benjamin, Vice Chair.
Excellent. Misty,
I
yes.
want to come back to what I wanted to say, which was a long time ago, about the verification of the people in our group, in our Facebook.
In the Facebook.
Because the reality is, we don't need their name and social and address and phone number. We just need to know, do you live here really or not?
Yep.
And so it's kind of a simple yes or no. I think that anybody in the resident, if they're like, somebody just got approved, that actually came up, and they don't live here. I think that can be stated, it can be messaged to any of the admin or whatever, and then we can do with that what we want. It doesn't have to be top secret, eyes only, whatever. It's just, do they live here? Pretty simple.
Thank you.
I'd like to bring up the only goal we had to even talk about why verifying people. I think it was two different goals. It was that there were so many people from outside the meetings that they were bringing in topics that weren't about our community. I think that's maybe trying to think that's what you thought was most important, George. And what I thought was most important was trying to gain votes from the people who can't come to the meetings. And so how do we verify that vote is worth anything with some form of verification? And if I missed anything, I thought there was only two main reasons to even talk about why to verify people.
Well, the board's
If I
gonna
may.
take over voting because they're the ones that are gonna know people are authorized to vote,
If I may,
period.
our
No
list
vote.
is a core resource. In an organization like this, our list is arguably our most valuable resource that we have to offer is our asset is the list of residents. We have the ability to reach out and contact, influence, and platform those voices and bring them before the board, right? That is a very powerful tool and arguably the most important thing that we have at our disposal. So I think both of those reasons, and I can actually think of some others too, are really good reasons for us to make sure that we have a really high quality list, right? So if we wanted to give a visitor pass to somebody to visit the Facebook group as like a visiting expert or something, we could do that, right? But we would not want to dilute our list, which I would actually suggest, and I hope somebody moves during the meeting, that we make a copy of all of the data from that and keep it offline, off of just, so it's not just on Facebook.
I have that.
Very good. And, okay, then you're way ahead of me. I didn't realize that.
I made the list, sorry to interrupt, that was the whole goal, was I added people who joined. I haven't updated it recently, so it needs to be updated with some people who have been added. But I added everybody who either signed up via email, via form, or joined the Facebook group. And in the Facebook group questions right now, people put where, this is the pole I live at, or, the street I live on, Poland Street, was like all we were asking for, and yes, I am a resident, are the two questions.
So, and this really is the key thing here, because if we have this list, right, that is the source of our capacity as a group, right? Even without Facebook, even without the internet, if the power goes down and there's an emergency, God forbid, right? If there's something like that, if there's a problem with the board or the neighborhood or whatever, that's how we get the word out. That's how we talk about it, right? So Facebook is an important tool in that. We shouldn't rely on any one tool. But yeah, I think as far as that goes, if we're all in agreement, we can just proceed. We don't need to formalize it.
Yeah, I'm interested for George's information. I think we've kind of interrupted you a couple times.
No, what I have to say will be kind of an analysis of the whole year in processing the community, our goals. One of the things I was going to say about the verification process is I feel like that there's a lot of energy and arguing that's being put into something that 5%, 3% of an adjustment and change due to super verification isn't going to change the goal of why the Facebook community was created, and that was to be able to communicate from the road crew to the community, from the community through us to the road crew, or to board, or to FACA as a group, and them being able to communicate with us and influence the board. Doesn't matter if one or two slip through. It really doesn't, because the fact is that we have, and this is a huge testimony, the road is a huge testimony to the power that our group is, and it's not our power, it's the power of the people, that we have to go to them and say, look what they did. It doesn't matter if 3 or 4 people broke through. That doesn't matter to the board. The fact is that they came up, they stepped up, they said, this is not okay, changed them. That's the power that we're looking for and that we're looking at. So I would say, plus community transparency and accountability. I think that if somebody slipped through and started being any kind of a voice, I think our community would step up immediately and say, which they have, and said, this person's not in the group. So I feel like there's a lot of energy towards something that I don't know if the balance of energy and output matches, if that makes sense. I don't know how else to word it, or if I'm wording it well or not, but that's would be my 2 cents really quickly on that. So the first thing I would like to say is I would like to apologize. One of the things that I have learned in the last month deeply is getting the train moving. We were talking earlier, man, about getting the train moving. And you are never ever going to make any progress being aggressive and frankly being an asshole. Sorry for using language. But you're never going to make somebody change their behavior. You're never going to make them see your view, your way by being an asshole. And a couple months ago, I came at you from my feelings and not from a place of logic where my thoughts were thought out and executed in a way that put my feelings aside and spoke to you in a professional way. For that, I deeply apologize. I do have issues with some of your behaviors. I do want to talk about them, but I love the passion and the enthusiasm that you have. You are a fellow community member, and Austin, I deeply respect the experience that you bring with this, but I do want to emphasize that this isn't the politics of the state or the county. This is our neighborhood. And how we treat each other matters deeply and can matter forever. Our responsibility as a committee was to facilitate it. If you will, please give me a chance. This might take me a minute to get through, but please just bear with me. Is to facilitate the voice of the people through us to whatever means it needs. If it needs to go to the road crew for speed bumps, if it needs to go to the board for raising road fees, wherever it needs to go. That was why we were appointed, and that's kind of the direction that we've taken. The mission statement that we've all come together and agreed on is this thing. I'm not trying to dominate the position, but I feel like that's exactly my head that I was voted into, is that position. Whenever I say me and my position, I'm not talking about me personally. I'm talking about my position as communication liaison. And I take this responsibility passionately, because to be honest with you, I would have been gone a long time ago. I don't like being here. I don't like being pulled away from my family, from being pulled away from taking care and putting food on my family's table. This is not the most pleasant thing for me. Or to be here and to speak in front of people, it's not the most pleasant thing for me. I'm here for the people and to help our community not only succeed, but be a larger family. That's what we're supposed to be, is a larger family. First thing when you changed the Facebook, Ben, you absolutely did that against the will of the group.
Do me a favor and address your comments to the chair, if you don't mind.
When the Facebook, so how would I do that? Because the behaviors.
When the Facebook was changed by Mr.
Okay.
It helps. It helps keep things
that's
level.
fine.
No, not trying to
So when the name of Facebook was changed, I don't think anything else needs to be said. Everybody kind of agreed in the group. It was the standing rule. It had been the standing rule for a long time. I know there was conversation. There was lots and lots of months of conversation, and I feel like you really went out on. I feel like the decision was made by one person and one person alone, aside from not only the committee, but also the community, which is the most important. I think a big issue started between us when I came at you about how I perceive you treating Roy. Now, I absolutely want transparency. I want you to bring this stuff forward, but what I perceive going on is nothing but complaining. When I look at an investigation, or I participate in an investigation, or if I'm investigating somebody, there's chronological stuff. I made 5 appointments. I made the appointments at this time with this person. I showed up this much early. These 5 appointments were where nobody showed up. These are the reasons why they're like there's this, and that's not what I was perceiving from you. And I am gonna guess it's not because it's not what you have, but maybe you haven't put that together in that format. And
if
so,
I may, Mr. Wellman, and I don't mean to interrupt you, but are you building to a motion on this? I'll let you continue, but I just wanted to know.
yes, couple.
Okay. Well, we have to do them one at a time, just so you know.
Okay.
No worries. Sorry.
And I don't know about the formality.
It's cool. I'll let you speak to your motion once you introduce it. In order for it to go forward, it will need a second.
That's fine. That's fine. I don't. Right.
No
it's
worries.
Up to the
I'm
group,
just letting you know.
and I'm even okay with the community speaking in before the group
Perfect.
makes any
I'm
decisions.
sorry. Please continue. I'm sorry to interrupt you.
So that's kind of where things started. You know, and I heard this. So some of the facts that I figured out of the 1,800, lots, about 1,600 families on our Facebook now, we have about 9.1%, which is fantastic. It's quite amazing how powerful that 9.1% was when we needed it. So
Are you saying 9.1 on Facebook?
on our Facebook group, 9.1% of the estimated community, right? Like, I don't know.
Right on.
Which I think is great. When I have been doing surveys this last year, I would say a majority of the people, about 43% of them, said that the reason why they didn't want to participate more in our community is because nothing will ever change. The bigwigs at the top, they're in control, they talk down to us, they don't listen to any of our ideas, and nothing will ever change. And I don't think, I'll be honest, that's not my focus, and maybe that's my mistake as the communication liaison, but I don't think that that's a focus that we can change by focusing on it. I think that's only can change through the progress of our group.
Can I ask you something about that?
Yes.
And just for clarity, you're saying that's the most important thing to our group is that they feel disenfranchised and like the leadership isn't listening to them in that.
And nothing will ever change.
And isn't that what our group was created to address? Right?
Exactly.
So I think that is definitely something personally that I would want to focus on.
I think it can be focused on through the flip side, the other percentage.
I'm going to ask you to move along with your motion, or I'm going to be very tempted to take the floor and tell a story about me suing the Elections Commission over elections fraud. And me telling them to their faces about it, because sometimes there's no other way to do it than to call the spade a spade and say, hey, what you're doing isn't right. And I think our community's at that point, and we may have the unpleasant duty of communicating those facts to the board members. And they're not going to like this. This is not fun to be the messenger of God.
Okay, I would beg you to just let me finish. This is
Go right ahead.
not only will this address friction, which I really hope the friction turns out to movement back in the right direction. I'm going to ask that you please be patient with me. But on that note, I want to come back. I am so thankful that Cody was there last meeting.
Oh, okay.
And I am going to, I thought about putting it in my proposed rules, but I don't know how it would be worded. Maybe you can help, or maybe it can just be an unsaid rule. I think if we are going to post anything like that, that from now on it should be done anonymously. Our group, somebody in our group, we can talk in our private chat so that nobody is unaware of who's doing it within our
I'm not
circle.
following. What are you talking
But
about?
you can, when you make a post on our Facebooks, let's say the road crew, you can go in and you can post that anonymously so nobody knows who actually made the post. So nobody can come out at any individual, because that wasn't you, that was our entire group and the community that was wanting to hold the board accountable. So you could have made that post and it had been anonymous and not had your name attached to it.
What post you mean? Oh, about
the road crew and
the road
fees. The road fees,
I mean, okay. Let me think about that. I mean, I was pretty
Like you
upset when I heard about the road, how things went down, and that the vote was made. And I actually was on the other Facebook community group, and I commented on Patty Pinto, who's on the county's comment about the bill, about getting the tax credit for road fees. And I was like, will this increase road fees? And Brian Fields responded, it's already been voted on. Yes, there's an increase. And the board had talked about a few times, oh, there's this $250 credit. We should increase road fees to the maximum to get the full credit.
Mm-hmm.
And they even said that at the board meeting when we brought it all up. And I was like, that according to your bylaws, that is not right.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. Roy, maybe you could
Yes, Roy
help
had a
me,
reason.
correct me if I'm wrong, but don't the bylaws require the board to give notice, special notice, prior to raising the,
Yes, everybody will get them when they get the invoice.
so
They
this,
said, we'll tell everyone about it in the newsletter that not everybody gets, the printed newsletter that we spent thousands of dollars on.
I never got a ballot.
Everybody gonna get one in January when they get the invoice. It comes with the invoice.
I would like to, I would definitely like to look into that.
Well, the hard thing with that, and not to cross talk or whatever,
Sorry, yeah.
there have been
we're off
people, I've literally talked to people in the community who didn't know what they owed for road fees. Not the list of addresses that the newsletter goes to is not up to date. It's
I'm gonna say
it's
if
not
they
a
didn't-
reliable system right now.
If they didn't give notice, it's very likely void, and they have not actually raised the road fees yet. They've committed an action contrary to the bylaws, which is a nullity, and it could open them up to suit if
I
anyone,
would say that they can't bring them 15% every year.
Yeah.
with notice, right? that would be the question, and I could be wrong about this, so I want to make sure. So I'll take it with a grain of salt. But if the
Right, so go to
bylaws,
the website, look at the bylaws.
okay,
Yeah, I don't know the bylaws behind.
thank you. Sorry, I'm not. I don't either. So I'll have to check and.
I was
look
at the
it.
point where I was considering having somebody who's knowledgeable in legal bylaws to review that. Because I don't know either. I looked at them, I read them, I'm not a lawyer.
Lawyers don't do bylaws. Lawyers are not qualified to do bylaws. To do bylaws, you need a parliamentarian or a libertarian. I'll tell you what. The bylaws that we have are a little. They have some. You can tell where an organization's pain has been by looking at their bylaws. Right. That tells you the things that aggravated the board or the organization, the convention, enough to make a rule for all time about it.
To circle back fully, one of the things that we didn't like about the other Facebook group is that we couldn't post anonymously. We definitely could post anonymously, and I don't I definitely don't like to be in the limelight. I like my privacy. It made me very comfortable when literally Brian and Christy were calling these names, obviously, on Facebook.
Yeah.
Brian was the one that
Can we
brought
address
us
that? Their abusive behavior does violate the rules regularly.
And
I will say, really, the last thing, Brian did message me on Facebook and apologize for his behavior to Cody. Because it brought up that whole
that's great.
interaction.
But
That
there's no
changed the whole
defending.
vibe.
Cody's
There's-
expressed desires
There's no
to step
defending
out,
that childish behavior.
No,
If they
there's
did
not.
that in my meeting, I would kick them out.
And
Yeah.
here's the thing. Here's my solution to that. Oh, still aside from this, anonymous. When we're gonna post something that's sharp and that's gonna poke them, I think we might even want to delegate or create, I don't know, a different Facebook that is anonymous, that is for that purpose. I don't know.
Do we
Or
need to just
anonymously-
do we need to just put it to a vote? We can vote to allow the group to allow anonymous speech. The founding fathers supported anonymous speech for exactly this reason, because tyrants love to retaliate.
Right. I think the only thing I would
can,
like to
I
say is that I think that it should be discussed behind the scenes by the committee. It can't be solely put on. It has. I would
We
say
can
at
see
least
we
two
can see
or three.
admins can see who's anonymous. Roy, you had your hand up. You're recognized.
I'll be okay with anonymous posts if it's something constructive, but if it's something to make trouble, you know.
I think if
That's
if I may, the rule for the good rule in my opinion on this is pretty content neutral. If someone is abusing the anonymous speech feature, if we can't revoke it from individuals, that could provide us a compelling reason to either kick that person out or turn off the feature. As long as we can see who's using it as admins,
We can,
then why not?
Yeah.
Right?
yeah.
But right away, you're gonna find out the people that just do and they just troll people. So,
Yeah.
You know.
And at the end of the meeting, when I propose my rules, I think that some of these issues might be addressed in them, and they're open. I've never done anything like this. I hate even the thought of putting rules to them because I value freedom so much. But the next part of what I'm going to get into, I think, demands it, and that's.
May I ask you a question to save everybody time, because motions can take a while if they're not done totally in the right kind of order. Has everyone here gotten a copy of the proposed rules?
I plan on giving a copy when I.
Excellent. Okay, so what we will do, if it's okay with
Yeah.
you, what we'll do is we will accept these rules as a report that we can review for voting on adoption at the next meeting.
100%.
This will give us, it'll give us the chance to talk about it and to if we need to amend them or anything, you've got until next month's meeting to make suggested amendments that we can vote on.
I'm sure it will need to be amended.
So-
This is not my expertise. It's not my talent, and
It's good. We need some good rules, and it's good for us to talk about it. If there's anything that you want to say about it, I'll give you another 60 seconds or so to go ahead and finish that up. And then if you could give
Finish
everyone a
this up?
copy, let us take that home and read it.
no. You guys interrupted me.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I want to finish my statement.
Okay, well, I haven't
just
set
be
board time.
mindful of time, because we're
Yes,
already.
I understand that.
Okay,
I understand.
that's what he's saying.
I
Okay.
think if he wasn't interrupted, we could get through this.
Okay.
Like, just a lot of interruptions.
Go right ahead. Go right ahead.
Okay.
The problem, so the biggest issue that I see is about 38% of people, and it's kind of tangled between 38 and 70%, because about 38% of them said, in one form or another, I can't stand the BS, I can't stand the bureaucracy, I can't stand the backstabbing, the smearing. One person said if I don't like how somebody acts or speaks to me, I don't interact with them again. One chance we have to allow the community to speak, and there's a huge group of these people that will never come back. They will never speak up again if they are pulled into smearing and bureaucracy and all of the name calling and all of this stuff that the other group is so famous for, hating and getting in your face and threatens and all of this stuff that's unacceptable. They can't, so we're talking, can you imagine if there was another 720 people we're talking here. Can you imagine if there was another 720 people on our social media that we could use?
I run a national level political party. It's doable.
If 150 can make that much difference, we can really make some difference. So, so, I apologize, please be patient. So I asked Ben, that meeting I talked to Ben about, because the name was changed, and I tried to reinforce the fact that things needed to go through the group, that it wasn't under his sole authority and he couldn't just take over and do things. I tried to make it as clear as I could. I know I didn't do it in the best way, but that's one of the things that I was trying to communicate to you.
And he did apologize, just want to remind you. We started one of the last meetings with him apologizing for doing that and saying, as soon as we can, we will change the name, but we couldn't agree on the name change.
I understand that.
Okay.
I also think that an apology needs to be expressed by a desire to not do the behavior again, and I don't think that was the case. I think when he went behind not only everybody's will, nobody in this group wants non-residents in our community. Even residents have said that. Every single member has said that. It is the rules, which has been precedent for a year, and he went ahead and made the decision, and the decision was made to not only invite, but to approve a non-member to the group. Not only this, but he was intensely arguing in the...
I'm so sorry to interrupt you, but listen. In a group like this, where we're live streaming and we're representing the neighborhood's interests, if we want to bring a criticism against another member, there is a proper way to do that. One way would be, for instance, to put forward a motion of censure. And you could say, I think that we should make an official statement of condemnation of this action, right?
That is at the end of my statement. I would like to be able to
put
finish
it
my
at
statement.
the beginning so that I can justify giving you the floor to speak to that item of business. Always put the business in the bottom line up front, so it's okay to build up to emotion, but a lot of chairs would have shut you down a long time ago and been like, it's not relevant. I didn't want to do that because I know that you've got good intentions here, and so I wanted to give you a chance to get it out. But if you're wanting to present a motion, present your motion so that the group has context for where this is all going.
Yeah,
Okay.
is this the point? Are you trying to punish me or something? What do you want out of this?
No, it has nothing to do with punishing you, although I do think that your admin status needs to be removed for a month.
I gotta speak. Can we talk about some road issues and not talk about this,
Yeah, this is
situation?
This is a big issue for me. I'm not going to be able to let this go.
So put forward the motion.
Okay,
Put
just,
forward your motion and then let the body decide how it goes. Or you can hold back your motion until another meeting. It's either way.
So I don't have an opportunity to
You have a
defend
chance. You have a chance.
my judgment of
You have-
discipline.
You
Could it
do
be a
have.
2 or 3 minute limit? Can
Listen,
you
yeah,
do a
there's
minute?
time limits. You've dominated 30 minutes of
I
discussion.
have not dominated 30 minutes. I've been interrupted for over 3/4 of that.
You know how many times, you know how many minutes I get to speak a lot of times in my national party at a time, and I'm an elected member. it's 2 minutes at a time. Right? That sucks.
It's 7:45. We start at 7.
Yeah.
I'll just say that.
So-
yeah.
So,
Well, he didn't start talking at 7. So I'm gonna summarize this. It's not appropriate for us, and me included, to attack each other or attack community members. Absolutely 100% community member or people that come here most often should not be attacking community members, which is what happened.
so a motion
And then-
here,
Attacking each other.
we use the group to settle discussions like this. So if I had a problem with Ben, I would bring a motion to censure him. I don't have a problem with you. I do think you were wrong in what you did, but that's not really what I'm getting at. The point is that, and we already talked, I don't think there's anything to be gained.
See, and that's what I'm talking about.
Because-
Everybody else gets to talk amongst themselves, but I don't get to defend my.
You and I got to talk.
No,
we all
This
get to
is
talk.
my thought. I called you as a friend. I didn't call you as a business associate with a proposal.
We're on the same board. We're calling about business. It's okay.
Would you
No,
like me
I
to
wasn't
start a
calling it
3-minute
business.
timer right now? I'll start a 3-minute
That'd be
timer. Okay, starting.
You have the floor.
So I didn't break any rules by suspending his admin status. Benjamin, okay. There are no positions here other than the liaison who needs to have the admin status to bring people in. It's just an emotional thing.
That's
As a matter
not.
of fact,
That's not correct.
please let me finish. Most other Facebook groups actually don't only have 1 or 2, which is part of the proposals that I have. I apologize for not remembering the position and vote. I totally take responsibility for that. I didn't think that you were a voted in member, but I still don't see the point in why you have to have it. And the fact that you were willing to argue with me about breaking the rule, you were willing to argue with a resident, tell the resident that they were part of the problem and they were standing in the way of progress, demonstrated to me in absolute mens rea that you were willing to and could break the rules continually. So I made the decision. I was against my will. I wanted to come and vote. I made the decision because you not only repeatedly broke the rules, but you repeatedly showed the mindset that you didn't change and that you were willing to berate community members and call them part of the problem because they disagreed with you. Because of these things, I'm asking the board to remove your admin status for a month and to make it very clear that this kind of language and behavior on our group is not tolerated. This is the reason why over 40% of the people won't participate in our groups. She even said it. Wow, this is why people don't come to the meetings, because this is how people talk. So I'm proposing some rules, and I'm proposing that Ben have his admin status removed for a month, and that the group makes it clear that this kind of behavior and language, you went back 6 months and pulled out a conversation out of context and brought it out on Facebook to smear me. This is unprofessional, and it should never be allowed in this kind of a group setting. If you wanted to be a resident and you want to smear people, fine. But we're in a committee. That kind of behavior on social media is inexcusable.
Can I speak?
I'm done, thank you.
You're
Monopolizing
recognized.
the time, and people come here to talk about
I
road
apologize.
issues, and you're wasting people's time.
I apologize.
I have a question. I thought we had like a road meeting. Isn't there a road meeting?
Yes.
There was one before
And this is
this.
a resident meeting.
Yes.
Correct.
So why are there 2? If he's here to talk about the road, and we're here to talk about
The
issues
road-
that residents have,
The
why do we have 2
road,
meetings?
the road crew was, or the road meeting was supposed to be at 6. The resident committee talks about everything. We could be
Right.
planning a potluck and a garbage pickup. We could be planning helping them with a project coming up. It's all of the things.
One of the reasons we started was because of the speed bumps. And
Right.
Roy was like, we need better communication between the road, which is the only mandatory fee any of us have to pay, and the optional volunteer for an Acres Association, which you can pay $35 for. And being clear about this communication. And so a huge part of that, why people, because they have their skin in the game, we're all paying over $200 per lot, about the road. We want to know what's going on with the road, and that's why so many people showed up over a year ago after the speed bump fiasco. So the road is absolutely a topic. It is on the agenda today. I don't know if we're going to get to it because we have about 10 minutes left of this meeting.
We will move through quickly. One thing I did not
I
ask
wasn't actually
before.
done asking
Oh, I'm
my
sorry.
question.
Go ahead.
So I've been on boards as well, and I mean, do we have like our own rules for this resident committee?
We do not. We do not.
Okay,
have
so
bylaws.
we need that.
Yes.
And number, I'm used to the chair running, I'm used to the chair being here, I'm used to the chair running the meetings and going through, and I don't see that happening.
I figured it would be good to let these guys air a little bit of the frustration. I'm hoping that will deal with it, but I will go ahead and point this out. Look, we can consider the proposed rules. George, I'm not going to be able to let you go on like that again on future meetings, just so you know. I don't mind that you have your opinions, and there are definitely ways to make that known that don't disable us from moving on to other businesses. Normally I would cut that in the bud. You and I
Well, that's
talked, and
great.
I've been gone for a while,
If the
so
thing
I'll
that's
take
causing 40% of
responsibility.
the community to not
Excuse
step
me.
up is being
You
allowed,
are
I'm
not
going to say it,
recognized.
because
You
I'm
are
here to
not
represent
You know,
the
I
voice
have
of
a
the
problem
people.
with you, Austin, because you haven't been here, you're instructing us while we're having this meeting, how to have a meeting,
Sure.
and it's irritating me. It
Well, thank
really
you for
is.
letting me know.
This, you know, the previous meetings have been very informal, we've been able to have conversations, we've been able to get through topics.
I didn't want to make any assumptions, so like if you don't want me to be the chair, that's fine.
If he has something he would like to say, I would like to give him some time.
I'm not really sure where all the tension is coming from, but I appreciate that you guys are here and that you're trying to make a difference. And I think that we're all on the same team, and when we lack direction, it's very easy to lash out at each other rather than putting our energy in a useful direction. So
And I, for one, have tried to reach out to you on this,
gonna-
and haven't returned my
Bro, you
efforts.
can't burn
I'm
bridges.
gonna
It has to reach
stop
out.
this
So
conversation
if this
and move
conversation
us.
has to happen here, it's taking up time.
I
of other
absolutely
stuff.
think so. You can't go back
I'm
6
gonna-
months
no,
into
no,
a
no.
past private text.
This is the
pull it
problem
out of
right
context.
If you want
burn
to chair that
bridges,
rules the
and then
meeting, you
wanna
can't
have a
get mad when I
relationship.
try to actually shut
This
down
is
our
why
discussion.
people.
So.
This
Get
is
it
why
right,
progress
get
is
it
not
right,
being made.
what the
This
rules are,
attitude.
how we're supposed to behave.
I can draw up bylaws for us to adopt. That's fine. I would invite others to participate in that.
I
But
can
at
tell
this
you
point,
that I was
Miss-
told the
Mr.
reason why
Wellman,
things are not
Mr.
being
Wellman,
verified is
please.
because the attitude in
You
which
need
they're
to
being
raise your
brought,
hand.
which is the same
You are
attitude.
not recognized. I am not hearing any further comments on this item of discussion. Okay, we are moving on. Now,
Can
what
you
is the
now
next
point-
item on
Can
the
you
agenda?
point, like somebody on the floor?
You can raise it.
Wants to say something has like a time limit, and if he doesn't
That's
say
what I
whatever he says in that time limit, come back next month and say it.
That's what we
You
need.
did a good job keeping time. Can you keep time then?
Yes, I'd like to just
Thank you.
say thank you for your share, and it gives me an opportunity to grow, and I would like to be able to figure out how to move past this already. I've tried to apologize several times, and I think it's very important. Your opinion is very important. And if you want me off of admin, I voluntarily remove myself from admin duties for us to move past this and to have resolution. I don't feel the resolution has been coming up at every effort I've made. So if this is what will bring the resolution, I will gladly offer that.
I would suggest that we keep 3 admins that are regular members of the board, and that no unilateral decisions, whether it's changing the name or removing admin credentials, should be taken by any one member without a vote from those 3.
I have discussed it with 3 members before I did.
That's not the same as having 3 delegated members that we've all agreed on. So when we vote on that, we
At
empower
a
that.
meeting, delegated means at a meeting.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
not
we
on the
can
side,
we
text.
we,
Yeah, no,
we can do
that's-
that. I don't want to preempt your rules though, so give everybody a chance on this to go over it. So we won't go any further on that today. We can revisit this at the next meeting.
I wasn't trying to do anything maliciously. I
I
was
know.
just trying to do what was best for the community, so I reached out to others for their opinion. I wasn't trying to do a power grab.
I appreciate that, and I hear that, and I know how easy it is to get sideways. So we're gonna move along.
I have something financial that's a new topic that I've been really wanting to bring
Is
up.
it the next topic on the agenda?
Is finances the
I'm
next
sorry to
topic on
shut
the
you down
agenda?
like that, but
The road conditions, and yes, the roads was the next topic
Okay,
on the agenda.
Ben, you have the floor. Go ahead.
Okay, so I had a request at the board meeting and at the road meeting, so it's been almost 2 months now. I've asked to have the financial typo of the math that equates $14,345.08. I would like to see why that math error is there, and I'd like to see like a reason why it hasn't been addressed publicly yet to figure out, what's the answer to that.
The two
Amount of
line
money.
items that's not posted on that spreadsheet, which
Are you-
includes the salary of the office.
What does that mean?
The salary of the office is not posted on the thing, but it's part of the total. A few things happened. They got raises in December or in January, but never get reflected, or all depends on when they cash their check. If they cash their check in February, that thing not gonna show in January. It'll show in February. The other thing is the office payroll is not on that as well.
There's $84,000 that's overwritten here. It just shows the total is $84,918 over what the totals show. So basically, the only reason I was ever here was to just maintain measurable financial records.
Okay, 84,000, you read them where?
So that is the math difference in Mr. Ma's expense revenue for remaining budget. It says the total is $229,935, and there is $84,000 not tallied in there. So the total should only be $145,017, and that's my only goal for this. Really, we have a goal of improving community communication about these finances.
Okay, so if you're looking at the end, that's part of my budget. That's how much get left on the budget that I proposed last year.
So why doesn't the math equal?
Like I said, you have 2 lines that's over there that's not on the spreadsheet.
Rather than putting you on the spot, why don't we have
I'm not on the
these-
spot.
And no worries. I don't want to make you have to answer for the board entirely on this either. I was
I'm not
thinking,
answering for the board, I'm answering for me.
yes, sir.
It belongs to me.
I was just going to suggest we could direct a formal question to the board and
We did.
request them to answer.
We did.
We did.
And the answer we received is Joe is our treasurer, and he says this is the first he's heard of a math error from 10 and 11 months ago. So January and February on FACA and Mr. Ma are off, and I asked last meeting, so
So should we do a follow-up question to ask what actions they've taken to uncover this discrepancy?
that's what I'm pretty much trying to ask.
Is there a second? Is there a second?
I second that.
Alright. Any further discussion? We can move to a vote. All those in favor of directing a follow-up question to the board about the financial discrepancy raised by
Benjamin,
what's your last one?
not important. Benjamin.
By Mr. Benjamin. If you're in favor, please vote aye and
Aye.
raise your hand.
Aye.
Counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All opposed? Any abstain? Secretary, you have the vote. Motion carries. All right. The question will be directed to the board. We can get together on executing that. What's the next item on the agenda?
I had something with roads.
Okay. I just wanted to remind everyone that there is a survey up and that we have asked this group and residents to report the 10 worst stretches of the road so that we have a good data to help Roy and the road crew identify the next paving. That's it.
Okay.
Go ahead, George.
Yes, so that's exactly what I have. So in Pakaki, I believe the stretch that needs to be done is between 55 and 65.
Instead of listing out the specific places, can we we need to collect the data. We've talked a lot about different spots, and so if you can put that in the survey I provided, I've sent some
In
of
writing, yeah.
that
I'm
responses to Roy, so.
I appreciate that. I'm not sure, as part of the thing that I tried to voice when you made the survey, I don't think the survey has the option for the 10 poles. which was what he was asking.
I can adjust it if there's an issue. I had one person say they couldn't fill it out because you had to be signed in, and that was because there was a photo upload option, and I removed that option so that anybody could fill it out without being signed in. So if you have any issue with the survey, I'm happy to change it.
Okay, and where is that?
It's
on
on
the
the
website?
Facebook. It's on the
On the
Facebook group
Facebook.
and the featured. I just posted it again yesterday.
So
Featured.
okay,
It's in
featured.
the featured, and
Okay.
I just posted it again yesterday. But that's great.
I would
Yeah,
I
thank
would
you
like
for
to
collecting
I
that.
would like to formally voice Hibiscus is awful.
Yeah.
It is by far the worst road, and Lahua is by far, in my opinion, the best road. And so if there's a road that's going to get more paving and a road that could potentially get less, I wouldn't want to speak for the community. That would be my suggestion. I just want to make that public.
I'm conflicted because I'm on Hibiscus, so. But
I
I agree with your assessment.
I'm not on either road, so I'm not conflicted.
Thank you for saying
Well, I
that.
think to make it fair, they were trying to pick 10 for
Right.
the road.
Understand.
So, let's see if we can get through, since we're at the end of our time.
Yes.
How much more business do we have?
There was the road conditions, there was the emergency contact list progress, which I'm happy to very quickly report on. I sent a emergency contact form to the board. Patty just got back to me with some edits, and ideally we will have some copies in the office as well as in the next food basket, asking people to volunteer their information to be on lists for emergency contact information. This would be available to search, to contact people specifically. We're concerned about older Kapuna who are not on Facebook. They may not even have a text cell phone. So we've asked people across, and we've already have 6 people that are interested in becoming Kuleana keepers to help reach out in the case of emergency and continue with our Fern Acres emergency plan. So that's good progress, getting people signed up, and hopefully, it's not if, it's when, what Sister likes to say, so being prepared in an emergency. So that was just my update for the team here.
Thank you very much.
Yep.
What else do we have on the agenda after that?
I wasn't sure if Roy wanted to speak to the compost and green waste. Okay?
Or our live stream
Other
is
than
down.
if the
isn't it?
office is open,
It's still going.
if the office is open or the gate is open, stop by the office and let them know on 3 weeks you drop it off.
Okay, and so gate is open, you can drop off green waste, and
Yeah,
are you
check in the
selling,
office.
are you selling,
Not yet.
compost yet? Okay. So that, I just wanna
I'll
make
do it
sure that
February.
was, the other thing is just, this is mostly just like to inform you all of what's happening. There is an audit committee that was formed at the last board meeting. I volunteered to be on it. That meeting is being held on December 12th, 4 p.m. So I will be at that meeting, and I'm happy to report back about that. Oh, so the next meeting of our meeting.
Thank you very much.
There's also a food basket is this month on December 18th. I will not able to be there. It's my birthday that day. I'm not going to be off island in Kauai, so I'm hoping one of us can be there to help make sure that this emergency contact form gets in the bags for the. I know Jai, you go a lot. I don't know if you guys are available on a Thursday, but if somebody can go to make sure and help out, I usually go when I can. So the food basket is happening. I'm just letting people know about that.
Perfect.
There's also a Himalayan raspberry eradication class that's happening in January. I don't have the details on that, but as soon as Patty shares them, I will let people know about it. People are very excited about that.
Yeah. Which
It's the bad one.
Yeah, it's the bad one.
It's the bad one.
And it's caused a lot of havoc. The one other question I was going to ask you, Roy, is there any plans for a large appliance pickup?
Nope.
Okay,
Not
that would be something that would be really helpful for the community, especially after the holidays when people get new stuff and they're going to go dump it down in
It's a great
Virginia. And there's people who are dumping Himalayan raspberry down in Virginia who probably didn't already, yeah. So that's just a constant thing is trash issues here. People have, most people think we should have hunting cameras in the trees to try to identify what's going on. But
if we're gonna have them, we gotta post them up on honest, and you're not gonna let nobody know.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
No, that would be easy to do.
Once you tell them, oh, I'm gonna put up cameras now, everybody will look at
Yep.
their cameras.
Yep.
We could authorize that. You guys, one thing that we should make use of between meetings, if there's issues on social media or if there's issues like, for instance, hey, we want to put trail cameras up, but we don't want to let everybody know where they are. Email ballots, text ballots, if we have the people in the group and we've authorized ourselves to do so, we can make that determination later, not in everybody's face, right? So we can decide where we want to put those without necessarily announcing that up front, as long as we announce what we're doing. So, Roy, you're recognized.
So they're trying to catch this person that keep putting paper on the wall.
Yeah.
We got no problem. We pick myself, John Turkleson, and a couple of the other residents. We pick them up every time we see them, but no sooner we pick them up, they're throwing it. It's between paper towels and newspapers and paper bags. A lot of things.
Happy to help if we can. Yeah. Let's get to the bottom of it and stop that.
Happy to organize another trash pickup in January, maybe. We won't know. I don't know.
It's been a while. We need to. Yeah.
The next road meeting is on Wednesday, January 14th, and the next board meeting is on Saturday, January 17th. So,
No further items of business.
I
That's
have
it.
one question.
sure.
Was there did we ever figure out a central phone number or anything to like connect with the business card or anything?
We don't have necessarily the authority to, I mean, I don't think any one of us should have our personal phone number on there. The office phone number.
You can make your own business cards with your own thing on it. We don't have a budget for that though, and we would have to get our stuff together in order to make purchases like that. So it's a good thing to eventually do. But in the meantime, you know, if you're here and you're part of the board and you're recognized by the board and you want to use a business card to say so, that's your prerogative. But that'd be on you.
That's been something I've been working on for 6 months, by the way.
Austin's wife created designs, and I sent them to the board. I usually, unfortunately, don't get a response from the emails to the board, so I don't know what to say.
Well,
and then you
and
can
I-
show up to a board meeting and ask them about it. I did ask them about it.
Well, and I think that's part of why it's important that we that we be a little more sensitive and smart when we're poking.
No, we don't need to ask permission. Just Fern Acres resident contact community. Just write your name on it. It's no big deal. It's $20. Like office max. You get them done in about 4 hours.
40.
It's not so bad. You know, I need to go make some more for my own stuff, and I usually do it on my own dime. You know, bill that as an expense. Don't normally do votes for that kind of thing. Not anymore anyway. All right. I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
I second.
Somebody's got to move it.
Well, I move it.
So moved.
Great.
Second.
Yay! Aye.
No objection. We're adjourned. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
No worries.
Did she go again? I don't remember if we made it official.
Right now, we're allowing the participation because we don't have any other. We're basically meeting like a little convention every time, and so theoretically, unless if there's any disagreement about it, we could be electing our chair every meeting. If there was like major disagreements about leadership or anything like that, so like Julia's suggestion is correct. We need to make sure that we have some rules that get looked at properly.